3 ways to get your PB. Make sure you get your sleep, 8 hours at least. Take your supplements. Magnesium's good for sleeping. Lots of water, lots of magnesium, and caffeine, and nectar of the gods. Welcome back to Angry Dad. Welcome back to Angry Dad. This is what's happening after our decathlon, our run, jump, throw. This is post-competition. We're just going to try and get back into some sort of routine. I'll give you a look at the park that I'm lucky enough to train on. So we're just gonna get back into running, jumping, throwing. After the end of any competition, there's a bit of a down. I've had a week off. I'm itching to get back into doing something, so that's good. And today we'll talk about getting back into training and maybe PBs. How do you get a PB? So the competition went really well. We did 4 events out of 5. We missed out on the 800. 4 events, 4 PBs. So I've decided to go heavy. From now on, I'm just going to be throwing the Olympic shot put and Olympic discus, and then just take whatever comes in competition. It's a form of overtraining. If I throw the heavier implements, I'm hoping that's going to translate into really good results when it comes to using the lighter implements during a competition. So that's the plan, and it's also a good way to compare your results for other people all around the world. If you're throwing the same implement, you can compare yourself to everyone throughout the whole of New Zealand and Australia and wherever else you live. So that's where we're going to go, and we are just going to concentrate on strength, see if we can build some strength and power. Alright, let's get at it. Okay, the first thing is sleep. If you get yourself 8 hours sleep a night, it increases your testosterone levels, and if you're a thrower, that's really good. So the more sleep you can get, the more chance you have for recovery. You can also do a taper, where you don't do so much in the last week before you throw, and that's what I did. I didn't do any sort of throwing, just some basic maintenance, and I made sure I got as much sleep as I could. Number 2 is to stay hydrated, drink as much water as you can, and help you get a good sleep. So magnesium, make sure you're taking your magnesium. Third one is caffeine. You can get a really good caffeine boost if you halve your content. So what I did, instead of having 2 cups of coffee a day, I just had 1. And then during the day, instead of having coffee, I had a hot water. One way you can fool yourself into thinking you've had 2 cups of coffee is to have half the cup and then fill it back up with water. It feels like you're having a second coffee. So for a week, the idea was to have limit my caffeine. And that's the first time I've limited my caffeine in about 30 years. And then the idea was then to have a double shot or a lot of caffeine on the day and get a really big hit. If your body's not used to the caffeine from after a week, then it gets a big hit on the day of your event, and that's another way that you can have explosive energy. And as a bonus, PB to PB, make sure you're getting lots of protein. You can get protein, you can get peanut butter and hemp is really good, and you can also keep having your protein shakes for your muscle repair and muscle building. I decided to have more protein leading into the competition. Instead of having one milkshake of protein, I had 2. So you can do that as well. Also with creatine, I stopped taking creatine for a couple of weeks and then went back on the creatine and loaded that back up before I did it. So that helped me with all the throwing events. So that was the way to do it.